Hello, 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 good people. I am your host, Mr. HJ, and we are back. We are back. We are back. And I appreciate you tuning in and look forward to hearing the comments in the comments section. And so today's topic is going to be a good one. It's going to be about goal setting. Goal setting. Goal setting is important because it helps you accomplish more each day. It helps you be more productive with your time. As you know, time is a finite thing. We all have a limited amount of it, and we want to accomplish as much in this lifetime as we can within the time that we have. Goals will be great because they can help you build momentum, and that momentum can help you tackle more projects or move to a different place and get things done in a different way. So goal setting is vitally important to being successful. And all of the MVPs out there, Men Valuing Purpose, and LLCs, Ladies Loving and Courageous, will be more than happy to tell you why goal setting is important, because that's what we're trying to do. We want to value our purpose, and we want to be loving and courageous while we do it. So goal setting, I'm going to break this down into 3 categories. But before I do that, all of that cool YouTube stuff, liking, subscribe, notification bell, and feeling free to support the channel via PayPal. I have a QR code that will pop up towards the end of the video and a link in the description. All of that stuff goes a long way to helping keep the content coming, and supporting me is really appreciated. No doubt about it. So we're going to break this into 3 categories. Category number 1 is goals should be realistic and measurable. Realistic and measurable. Realism. What does that look like? I'm not going to tell you I'm going to lose 200 pounds in a day. That is not a realistic goal, nor is that a healthy goal for anybody out there. Even those 600-pound people, not losing 200 pounds in a day. We want it to be realistic and measurable. What does measurable look like? I'm going to work out 3 days a week. I'm going to save $20 of each paycheck for this reason. That's realistic and measurable goals. So you got to be able to have those 2 things in order to even get the ball rolling on being able to get your goals accomplished. Realistic and measurable. The second thing, and probably the most important of the 3, is going to be writing your goals down and being detailed. You want to write your goals down and be detailed. Why is this important? Give you a fun fact. Studies have shown those who write their goals down and use a good amount of detail in doing so, the likelihood of them achieving said goal far outreaches the person that does not. Why would you say that is the case? That is the case because you've written it down and subconsciously made it something that you know that you want to accomplish. And by stretching out and putting the details in there, you've brought it to life, so to speak, because you've put a plan in place. You've detailed out what it's going to take to accomplish it. So then subsequently, you've done all of the legwork to accomplishing it. Now at this case in point, you just need to act out what it is that you've already set the plans for. That's a huge part of it. The details will set you free. In addition to having those details, the last portion of it that you need is that deadline. Set a deadline for when you want said goal to be accomplished. Again, you are sending yourself your own warning saying, hey, I need to have this done by this time. Why is that important? Because we're talking about time management. We're talking about getting more accomplished in our day. We're talking about setting ourselves up for success or future success. Having that deadline is vitally important. Let me give you an example of that. I get up and I say, hey, I want to have this thing done by 10 a.m. Okay? So even if I finish it at 9:58, I've reached my goal. And that's important because I've told myself, hey, I set a goal and I accomplished it. That's giving me kind of positive reinforcement, right? But more importantly than that, I freed myself up the rest of the day to accomplish more goals. Let's rewind. I wake up and I set a goal and I say, I want to accomplish this by the end of the day. You see the difference? So me setting it up and saying 10 o'clock versus the end of the day. So I have all the way until I go to sleep at night, 24 hours or however you want to word it, to accomplish that thing. Now, I very well may get that accomplished within that time, maybe even before I go to bed, whatever the case may be. But what I've done is I've stretched my deadline out tremendously. If this was something that I could have accomplished by 10 a.m., why not accomplish it by 10 a.m. versus 10 p.m.? That sets me up to say, hey, I want to accomplish this next thing by 2, or this next thing by 6, or this next thing by 10. So I've increased my productivity, right? And that's what we want to do. As MVPs, we got purpose. We got things that we're trying to do, goals we want to accomplish. And that's a great way to do it. So be extremely detailed and set a deadline. So recapping real quick before we go to the third point. Goals should be realistic and measurable. We want to write down our goals, and we want to put a timestamp on them as to when they get accomplished. All right? And not missing the details in the midst of all of that. So going on to the third point is once you get to that element of, hey, this is how I do it. Now we want to see how we want to set these goals. And the way I want to break that down is short, mid, and long-term goal setting. Example of a short-term goal might be buying a television. So what does that look like for you? I need to save up X amount of dollars per paycheck for the next 2 checks, and I'll be able to buy this television that I've had my eyes on. That's an idea of a short-term goal. Mid-term goal may be, I want to get a new car. And I know this is the year I want. This is what it costs. This is what I want to have towards the down payment. This is what the insurance is going to cost. And this is what I want to have set aside for potential maintenance or tires and oil changes for the first couple months. Now, let me rewind that. I laid out a whole bunch of intangibles that went along with getting that car. Those are the type of details that you should be thinking about when you go to setting that goal. Were any of those things necessary? No. I mean, on the surface, no. You don't need to have money set aside for tires and oil change, right? You don't need to have money set aside for insurance immediately, right? Because, some of that stuff is stretched out over a month or two. But the thought process behind it is what's so important. You want to be thinking in a way with the details, going back to step 2, that's going to put you in the best position to be able to tackle whatever goal it is you set, and it be reasonable, realistic. All right? So, example of a long-term goal might be buying a house. Hey, I want to find the area of town I want to live in. I want to have my payments be this. The housing market quotes houses at the price point of this. That's what I'm interested in. What does that cost me? What is it that I need to have from a down payment to make my payments a certain amount per month? What do I need to change or adjust in my current financial situation to set myself up for that? That's a long-term goal. That may be something that's over the course of, let's say, 3 to 5 years. So short term was a month or two. Mid may have been, let's say, 6 months, 8 months to a year at the most. And then your long term is something that you're planning farther ahead in the future to accomplish. That's going to be more along that 3 to 5. You can even stretch it out to 10, depending on what the goal is you want to accomplish, right? So those are 3 things that you can take from a goal setting standpoint, add that in your repertoire today, and use that to catapult yourself to be more productive and accomplish more each day, because that's the goal. We want to be productive and we want to accomplish as much as we can in the time that we are given. So again, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, like this video, share this video with somebody that you think may get some use out of this information, and definitely support the channel. I want to keep this content coming. I want to keep it fresh. I want it to be informative, but I also want us to have a great conversation. So with that being said, please comment below. Let me know your thoughts. I'll be happy to respond to those things. Keep it going with the MVPs, Men Valuing Purpose, and my LLCs, Ladies Loving and Courageous. And with that being said, Mr. HJ, and I'm out. And I'm out.